Shalom, Sons of Yahweh Camp, Durham, North Carolina. Here to edify our people as we always do on the last days of America, and to do a Sons of Yahweh specialty, is prophesying the downfall of America.
Right.
So all honor and praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashun, Yahweh Shah, and all the brothers that's on the streets doing sit-down lessons and on the street corners prophesying the downfall of America in truth and sincerity and bringing out the truth in the right way. So my topic today is they shall hate the whore, because now we see as we getting closer to the end of America's rulership, the other nations, as you can see, are ramping up against them. They're ramping up against their democracy. They're ramping up against the policies of America and America's complete domination that they've had over the other countries. Now you see these other nations, now they banding together because now it's Bible prophecy. It says they shall hate the whore. So we got an article that Brother Lamont is going to read going into the relationship between Kim Jong-un, North Korea, and Russia's alliance. And then we're going to go and support that with the scriptures. So Brother Lamont, if you can begin the article and we'll begin with the lesson.
Come. This is coming from Kyoto News entitled, Kim says North Korea-Russia relations at new high in letter to Putin. And this was written on December 31st, 2024. Beijing says, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un told Russian President Vladimir Putin in a letter that relations between their countries have reached a quote-unquote new high, while pledging to strengthen bilateral military ties.
So they're going to be working together jointly for, let's say, because I think Kim Jong-un sent 10,000 troops to Russia to help fight the war in Ukraine. And in return, Russia has sent them technology to bolster their nuclear program. So this is where we are now. Go ahead.
In the letter sent Monday to commemorate the new year, Kim referred to Putin as his, quote, dearest friend and comrade, unquote, the official Korean Central News Agency reported. Kim wished Putin greater success in his responsible and heavy state leadership activities, while expressing hope that 2025 will be recorded as the first year of Russia's war victory in the 21st century, according to KCNA.
See, that's that spirit of war that's in the air with all the nations. I mean, it's the beginning of sorrows. You read about that in the book of Matthew. This is where we are in this earth. I mean, there will be a third world war in this setup because the Bible prophesied. Go ahead, Art.
Pyongyang has dispatched troops to Russia to support its ongoing invasion of Ukraine. In December, North Korea said its defense cooperation pact with Russia, called the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty, took effect. The agreement signed in June by Kim and Putin includes a provision committing to mutual assistance of either nation if either nation comes under attack. So let me read that last sentence again. The agreement signed in June by Kim and Putin includes a provision committing to mutual assistance if either nation comes under attack.
So if Russia comes under attack from the United States, they got the support of North Korea. If North Korea, Donald Trump gets into when he's inaugurated as the president of the United States, and there was always differences between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, him setting off testing his rockets and all of that. So there was a disagreement between the two. So now that Donald Trump will be the president of the United States again, Putin and Kim Jong-un have a great relationship. So any aggression by the United States going forward will have Russia's aid in defense in helping North Korea. Go ahead.
Next article.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This article is coming from AP News, and it was from January 3rd, December 29th. December 29th, 2024, World News entitled, North Korea's Kim vows the toughest anti-U.S. policy before Trump takes office.
So, these other nations are gearing up, man, because, they tired of the United States dictating what they can and can't do in their own land. So now you're starting to see these other nations finally stand up for themselves and say, hey, we're not taking this anymore. This is what we plan on doing. And we want nuclear weapons, and we're going to have nuclear weapons, and you can't prevent us from building nuclear weapons. Go ahead.
It says, Trump's return to the White House raises prospects for high-profile diplomacy with North Korea. During his first term, Trump met Kim 3 times for talks on the North's nuclear program. Many experts, however, say a quick resumption of Kim-Trump symmetry is unlikely, as Trump would first focus on conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. North Korea's support for Russia's war against Ukraine also poses a challenge to efforts to revive diplomacy, experts say.
So that's going to be a problem for Donald Trump because, as we read earlier, North Korea supports Russia and sending troops to Ukraine to help fight the Ukrainians. So that's going to complicate Donald Trump's quest to try to have a relationship with North Korea. Go ahead.
It says North Korea has since sharply increased the pace of its weapons testing activities to build more reliable nuclear missiles targeting the U.S. and its allies.
Read that again.
It says North Korea has since sharply increased the pace of its nuclear testing activities to build more reliable nuclear missiles targeting the U.S. and its allies.
Mm-hmm. So the spirit of war is in this earth. So you have a lot of people who don't believe in when we always say the ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. This stuff is really happening.
Right.
The other nations are strongly building their nuclear arsenal. And you can see North Korea, at the help of Russia, is building their nuclear arsenal. So there will be a thermonuclear war in this earth. Go ahead,
The U.S. and South Korea have responded by expanding their military bilateral drills and also trilateral ones involving Japan, drawing strong rebukes from the North, which views such U.S.-led exercises as invasion rehearsals, further complicating efforts to convince North Korea to abandon its nuclear weapons in return for economic and political benefits is its deepening military cooperation with Russia. According to U.S., Ukrainian, and South Korean assessments, North Korea has sent more than 10,000 troops and conventional weapons systems to support Moscow's war against Ukraine. There are concerns that Russia could give North Korea advanced weapons technology in return, including help to build more powerful nuclear weapons.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's about. The other nations want to strengthen their nuclear program, and with the help of Russia, North Korea is on the precipice of having that. And this is where we are. North Korea and also Iran also is in a relationship with Russia, and China also. to help build their nuclear program. So there will be nuclear war in this world, in this earth. Go ahead, Al.
It says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said last week that 3,000 North Korean troops have been killed and wounded in the fighting in Russia's Kursk region. It was the first significant estimate by Ukraine of North Korean casualties since the North Korean troop deployment to Russia began in October.
Beautiful. So Bible prophecy, as we always read to you, is in full effect.
That's right.
Because we headed for war, and we, as Brother Gadal brought out earlier, when the Russian and Ukraine war started, that was already the beginning of World War III. So it just hasn't really been declared by all the nations, but World War III has already started. So, I mean, that's going to escalate. It's not going to de-escalate, it's going to escalate.
Right.
And all the other nations will get involved, because if you read about it in the book of Revelation, when it's talked about Armageddon, and that means an assembly of troops to battle. So all these troops and nations are going to be set up in the Middle East, and they all going to be fighting one another. This is the prophecies of the Bible. But see, this is what your Christian leaders and your political leaders don't talk about. They don't talk about Bible prophecy and what's going to happen. There's a reason why all these things is happening. There's a reason why the other nations hate the whore. And we're going to get into that. So, Brother Karab, call up the first scripture.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
I want you to read that again, man. The Bible is a real book. When it's taught in its purest form, there's nothing anybody can refute the pure words of the Bible. Read that again, because it's letting you know what time period we're in. The clues are in the Bible as far as the time period that we're in. Go ahead,
Nahum chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
Talking about America.
Right.
The mistress of witchcrafts.
This is how they operate this system with witchcraft. Go ahead.
That selleth nations through her whoredoms.
So they sell the other nations on their democracy and all their legislation, and this is how America get all the other nations hooked up into their American way of doing things. Go ahead.
And families through her witchcraft.
Through her deceit, lies.
Behold, I am against thee.
So the Most High said, hey, I'm against America. Go ahead.
I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame.
So you see, America is being exposed in these last days, because America is not as strong as it once was, as you can see that. The Biden administration has really brought America to a lower state, and America is not strong, and the other nations seeing that now, and that's why they banding together. That's why they hate the whore. Go ahead.
And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
So that's what America is, man. So the other nations know that America is at its most vulnerable point is right now. And they see that. And so that's why the other nations, they building up their military presence in these different lands, because America is weak. Your dollar is weak. Your economy is weak. Your political system is weak. And your leaders are weak. So the other nations see that. And the other nations are strong. Go ahead,
This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
So this is beautiful. So America's shame is being exposed. And Yahushua, when the order is given for him to return in his earth, he's not going to meet you as an ordinary man. That's going to be an angelic force that you won't be able to deal with. This is Bible prophecy, people. We are in this time for when that order to be given. Well, we're always on the precipice of war right now. We're on the precipice of that right now. Because we are in that time, and we see that the Most High is stirring up the war in this earth. He's got the death angel out in this earth, and we on the precipice of war, because the kingdom must be restored back to the children of Israel, the rightful owners of the kingdom. The future kingdom is for the children of Israel. So for us to get our kingdom back, America must be destroyed. And America is the last kingdom standing in our way of the future kingdom. Go ahead, Doc.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
So the nation fell for America's tricks. They were hoodwinked by America. So now the other nations say, hey, wait a minute. All these years they dictated to us what we can and can't do in our own country. They have bombs, but we can't have the bombs. You know, they give us legislation on that they want to promote homosexuality in our countries. We don't want that in our countries. So all the other nations, like, they looking at them like, hey, Saudi Arabia belongs to the Saudis. China belongs to Chinese. Japan belongs to Japanese. But America has been, everybody has drunk the philosophies of America and bought into what America was selling. Now the other nations are like, hey, no more. No more. We're going to do things our way, and we're going to run our country as we see fit. America's lost grip on the world. They can no longer police the world. Read that again.
That's right. That's Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken.
So they made the whole earth drunken with their lies and their blasphemies and their propaganda. They made the whole earth drunk with that. Go ahead.
The nations have drunken of her